Mother's voice broke the silence first. "You're early, darling," she said with a practiced smile. Lan smiled too, tilting her head with gentle pity. "You'll freeze up there just like last time," she teased. Her words hit the air like cold water. I wanted to laugh, but something inside me twisted. It had always been this way between us. Every stage, every spotlight, every victory half stolen. I was 12 when it started, the Christmas recital. I had practiced for weeks, every note memorized perfectly. Then, minutes before the curtain rose, Mother decided. "Let Lan join you," she said to the audience. "They perform better together." Lan appeared beside me, violin trembling in her hand. The applause that night wasn't for my piano solo. It was for our perfect harmony, as Mother called it. From that day, my name was never mine alone. Lan had charm, I had discipline. Father repeated that balance like a family motto. Brains and beauty, he'd laugh, raising his glass. When I earned a scholarship, the dinner turned to her. Everyone congratulated Lan for becoming class president. When I got into graduate school, she got engaged. Guess which story made the headlines in our family chat? I learned early to smile through the erasure, to applaud her triumphs while shrinking into the background, to be grateful even when gratitude felt like surrender. Now, standing in that dining room, the old ache returned. Lan poured herself a glass of wine, confident as ever. "You know I can help," she said, swirling the glass. I kept my eyes on the fallen pages, gathering each one. The graphs, the notes, months of work in my trembling hands. "This is my invitation," I said, steady but quiet. "They asked for me, not us." Mother's smile faltered, just a flicker, then fixed again. "Don't be selfish, dear. She's only trying to support you." Support. That word again, polished like a blade. Lan leaned against the table, feigning innocence. "Remember that economics conference last year?" You whispered. I clenched my jaw, remembering the tremor in my voice. How my hands had shaken behind the podium. How Father had said afterward, "Good thing Lan spoke first." But this time was different. This was my research, my invitation, my name. I lifted my head and met her gaze. "I've been working with a speaking coach," I said. "I don't need an introduction." Lan blinked, caught off guard for once. Mother stood to set the table, avoiding my eyes. The room filled with the rustle of linen and quiet disapproval. Then Father walked in, late as usual, holding champagne. "Are we celebrating or arguing?" he asked lightly. "Lan will introduce your sister at the gala," Mother said. He nodded without hesitation. "Excellent idea. Take some pressure off." They stood together, united by habit, by comfort. 3 on one side, me on the other. For years, I believed peace was worth silence. But silence had cost me everything that was mine. So I stood taller, pressing the portfolio to my chest. "No introductions," I said, voice firm this time. "This is my presentation, mine alone." The air changed then, sharp and still. No one spoke. For once, I didn't fill the quiet with apology. For once, I let it stand. 2 days later, the email arrived. The subject line glared like a warning. Contingency plan. I clicked before I could think twice. The words blurred for a second, then sharpened. "My sister Mai Linh is brilliant," it began smoothly. "But she sometimes struggles with public speaking. I'd be happy to step in if she gets nervous." It was signed, "Best regards, Lan." And below, copied replies from my parents. "We think this is an excellent idea. Our daughters always work best together." My throat tightened as the room tilted slightly. They hadn't even tried to hide it. This wasn't care. This was control disguised as love. I scrolled down, heart hammering. More emails appeared like ghosts I hadn't invited. Lan writing to conference organizers, to institutes, to alumni panels. Always the same soft language. "My sister will be presenting, but I can compliment her talk. She's shy, but together we shine. Each message carved another line through my chest. It wasn't just one betrayal. It was a pattern. A long, elegant theft of identity. I stared at the screen until the words lost meaning. Then came the phone call. Mother's voice bright and cheerful. Aunt Min is coming for lunch tomorrow. She's excited. Excited for what, I thought bitterly. To watch the next act of the family show. When I arrived, the table was already full. Father at the head, Lan beside him, mother smiling. I sat at the far end, distance disguised as politeness. Aunt Min greeted me with warmth. "I've heard you're speaking at the gala," she said proudly. Before I could answer, Lan interrupted. "I'm having a dress made for our big night." Our big night. The phrase lodged like a stone in my throat. Mother nodded approvingly. "I've told everyone that Lan will introduce you." I gripped my napkin, feeling it tear slightly. "I never agreed to that," I said. Father's fork paused midair. "It's just a backup plan," he replied smoothly. "If your speech runs short, she'll fill in." The words rang with practiced logic. Not suggestion, expectation. Aunt Min's smile faded. Her eyes flicked between us, sharp and knowing. "Let the girl speak for herself," she said quietly. But no one answered her. Lan went on about fabric choices, lighting, color tones. Every word was a reminder of how thoroughly she planned this. I chewed in silence, tasting nothing. Halfway through dessert, Aunt Min leaned toward me. "I've seen this before," she whispered. "First with your mother and me, now you and Lan. Don't let it repeat another generation." Her words landed like a hand on my shoulder. Not pity, understanding. On the drive home, I replayed every memory. Every time I'd stepped aside for harmony's sake. Every time they'd thanked Lan for my work. The weight of it pressed against my chest. By the time I reached my apartment, I knew. They would never stop taking until I stopped giving. I opened my laptop again. The email still waited, silent and poisonous. But now, I saw it for what it was. A map of every door I'd left unlocked. And a promise that this time, I'd close them all. The next morning began with a notification. Lan's face filled my phone screen, smiling under bright lights. Her caption read, "So proud to help my brilliant sister prepare." Hashtags followed. "Family support sister goals gala night." The comments flooded in within minutes. "Such a beautiful bond," one wrote. "Your sister is lucky to have you," said another. My stomach turned as I scrolled. By lunchtime, my coworkers had seen it. Karen from accounting smiled as I entered the break room. "Your sister's adorable," she said lightly. "She's introducing you, right?" I forced a smile. "Actually, no, I'm the keynote speaker." Her eyebrows lifted, amused. "Oh, sorry, I just assumed." Assumed. That word followed me all day like a shadow. By the afternoon, whispers trailed behind me. "She's only there because of her sister." Family connections, you know how it is. I wanted to shout, but silence felt safer. Until the call came from my boss. "Can you step into my office, Mai Linh?" His tone was careful, distant. I sat down, heart pounding. "Your mother called this morning," he began. The words froze me. "She mentioned your sister might attend in your place." He studied my face, as if weighing truth against fiction. I wasn't aware this was a family presentation. "It's not," I said sharply. "My research was selected for its merit." He nodded slowly. "I thought so, just wanted to be sure." Afterward, I sat in my car, gripping the steering wheel. Every muscle in my body trembled. They were everywhere, behind every door, every call. That night, when I reached my apartment, the door was unlocked. My heart lurched. Lan's perfume drifted through the air, floral and heavy. "Just dropping off some things," her voice called out. I found her in my bedroom, surrounded by my notes. Pages spread across the bed, color-coded, rearranged. I made some improvements, she said proudly. Added transitions, softened the tone. I stared, words caught in my throat. You went through my presentation. She smiled, unfazed. You're too technical, Lynn. People tune out. The confidence in her voice made me dizzy. I gathered my papers, hands shaking. Please don't touch my work again. Oh, come on, she sighed. I'm helping you not embarrass yourself. The sentence snapped something inside me. When she left, the silence felt poisonous. I sat for hours piecing my research back together. Charts out of order. Graphs missing captions. The chaos reflected the storm in my head. What if she was right? What if I really did need her? Every doubt they'd planted over the years bloomed again. You freeze up. You whisper. You need help. Their voices overlapped in my mind like static. I stood in front of the mirror, clutching the papers. This is my work, I whispered. But the words felt thin, uncertain. Outside, the city hummed indifferently. Inside, I could feel the old version of me slipping. The quiet one. The compliant one. The invisible one. And for the first time, I realized how easily I could vanish again. The call came on a Thursday afternoon. Dr. Lynn, this is Mrs. Bennett from the International Foundation. Her tone was warm, professional, steady. My heart stuttered, expecting bad news. Yes, hello, I managed, voice thin. I just wanted to confirm your schedule for next week, she said. We're honored to have you as our keynote speaker. My throat tightened, disbelief and relief mixing painfully. No mention of Lan. No confusion. Just my name, clear and singular. For the first time in weeks, my lungs filled properly. I thanked her, quietly but sincerely. After we hung up, I stared at my reflection. Maybe I could still reclaim what was mine. That night, I drafted an email to confirm security rules. Only authorized speakers would have stage access. Her reply came fast. Absolutely, we'll enforce that. I closed my laptop with trembling hands. Control, even a small piece of it, felt intoxicating. Sunday arrived too soon. The family dinner glowed with false warmth. Lan modeled her emerald gown, spinning under the lights. Perfect for the stage, Mother said proudly. Father poured wine, humming approval. I stayed seated, silent, watching the performance unfold. We'll all arrive together, Mother continued cheerfully. Lan will handle the introductions and photos. No, I said. The word came out sharp, cutting through the chatter. They froze. Mother's hand stopped midair, napkin dangling. Excuse me, she said softly, dangerously. I straightened, feeling my pulse steady. This is my professional achievement, not a family showcase. Father lowered his glass. Don't be dramatic, Lynn. You've always been a team. Not this time. The silence stretched, long and brittle. Even Lan seemed startled, her perfect smile faltering. For years, I'd chosen peace over pride. But peace had demanded too much of me. I wasn't angry. I was done. Mother's eyes narrowed, searching for weakness. Why are you making this difficult? Because I finally can, I said. Father sighed, disappointed like I'd broken a rule. Lan looked away, pretending to adjust her bracelet. The clink of silverware filled the gap where love should have been. Then, from the corner, a quiet voice broke the tension. It was Aunt Min. She leaned forward, gaze steady. Good for you, she said simply. No one answered. But her words lingered in the air like oxygen. After dinner, I received a text from her. I'll accompany you to the gala, it read. Just us. I smiled, small but real. Later that night, I printed my speech again. Every paragraph marked, every note precise. I locked my presentation in a drawer. Then I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the city lights. For the first time, they didn't feel unreachable. They felt like something I could step into. Not borrowed. Not shared. Mine. The evening of the gala arrived quietly. I unzipped the garment bag, ready to dress. Then I saw it, a thin, deliberate tear along the seam. Right where the light would hit. My breath caught, then steadied. Not surprise, not anger, just clarity. I reached for the backup dress, burgundy and simple. It slipped over my shoulders like calm. No sparkle, no statement, just strength. The mirror reflected a woman I almost recognized. No longer hiding behind politeness or fear. My phone buzzed, Mother's message. "We're leaving in 10 minutes, hurry." I ignored it. A small rebellion that felt enormous. The car I'd booked arrived on time. "Dr. Lin," the driver asked. "Yes," I said, savoring the title. Outside the venue, lights flashed, cameras clicked. I entered alone, heart steady, heels firm on marble floors. Mrs. Bennet greeted me at the entrance. "You're wonderfully early," she smiled. "Let's check your microphone and lighting." The stage stood empty, waiting, silent and vast. I stepped behind the podium, fingers grazing the wood. For a heartbeat, I imagined 12-year-old me again. Terrified, unseen, half swallowed by someone else's glow. Then I straightened. That girl was gone. Bennett handed me a small green wristband. "Only for official speakers," she said. The color glimmered against my skin, proof of belonging. Backstage, I reviewed my notes, each line familiar. When I looked up again, chaos stirred near the entrance. Lan's voice cut through the crowd. "This must be a mistake. I'm part of the program." The guard blocked her path calmly. "Green wristbands only, ma'am." "I'm her sister," she snapped. "I'm introducing her." "Not on the list," the guard replied. A few guests turned to watch. Murmurs spread like ripples across the floor. Mother's smile faltered under the scrutiny. Father tried to hush her, failing. I stood still, invisible and visible all at once. A quiet power settled over me. For the first time, the chaos wasn't mine to fix. When the master of ceremonies took the stage, silence fell. "Please welcome our keynote speaker, Dr. Mai Linh." Applause rose, strong and clear. I walked toward the podium, heels echoing like punctuation. No introductions, no shadows. Just me. The lights were warm, not blinding. I began to speak. "Good evening. Tonight I will share how true growth begins with voice." The words flowed like water I'd been holding too long. Slides appeared behind me, graphs, data, my research. Each point landing with precision and purpose. Faces leaned forward, pens moved. Every fear dissolved into focus. Halfway through, I looked up and found Aunt Min's eyes. She nodded once, proud and steady. By the end, the applause thundered through the hall. Mrs. Bennet clasped my hand, smiling. "Brilliant," she whispered. I turned slightly, just enough to see my family's table. Lan sat frozen, hands clasped in her lap. Mother whispered something urgent, unheard. I didn't look away out of defiance. I looked away because I didn't need to see. The light was finally mine. 6 months passed like a quiet storm. The world had changed, or maybe I had. The international summit buzzed with voices from everywhere. And I stood at the front, no trembling, no pause. "Before lunch," I said clearly, "I'd like to introduce Dr. Rivera." My tone was steady, calm, assured. No microphone feedback, no racing heartbeat. The audience listened, pens ready, eyes lifted. When questions came, I didn't shrink or search for help. "That difference in data highlights methodology," I explained easily. They nodded, taking notes. Confidence felt natural now, like breathing. After the session, people called me by title, not by relation. No one mentioned family, or introductions, or charm. Only my work. Only the results. The shift was quiet but monumental. Even the skeptics leaned in when I spoke. Later that evening, I sat at my parents' table again. The same polished wood, the same crystal glasses. But something was different this time. My heartbeat didn't race. I didn't count my breaths. Father cut his steak, glancing up casually. "So Stockholm next month?" he asked. "Yes," I said, smiling slightly. A solo presentation, followed by discussion. The word solo hung between us. Mother refilled her glass without a word. Lan looked up, her fork paused midair. "You know," she said lightly, "I've been reading about presentation flow. I could help you prepare again." "Thank you," I said, gentle but firm. "I've got this covered." The silence that followed wasn't hostile. It was new, almost respectful. We finished dinner without the usual tension. When I left, Mother didn't remind me to smile for the cameras. Father didn't tell me to let Lan open the night. It felt like the first honest evening in years. That weekend, Aunt Min hosted a small gathering. The garden smelled of lemongrass and rain. Mrs. Bennet arrived with champagne, laughing. "To finding your own voice," Aunt Min toasted. "And to those who finally listen," Bennet added. We clinked glasses, light catching in the bubbles. She handed me a small gift wrapped in silver paper. Inside was a framed photograph from the gala. Me at the podium, mid-sentence, light on my face. At the bottom, a tiny engraving, "Your light." I didn't speak for a moment. The photo said everything words couldn't. Later that night, I sat alone in my office. The walls glowed with new achievements. Invitations, awards, future projects waiting. My phone buzzed softly on the desk. Mother's name appeared on the screen. She'd called 3 times this week, each gentler than the last. This time her text read, "Can we come to your next talk?" I looked at the photo again. Then out the window, where the city lights pulsed like heartbeat. Maybe forgiveness wasn't about forgetting. Maybe it was about staying whole while they watched. I typed slowly, smiling. "You can," I wrote. "But this time, sit in the audience." Send. The quiet after was peaceful, not empty. For once, the light stayed exactly where it belonged. The morning sun spilled through my office window. A new invitation waited on my desk, embossed in gold. The World Economic Forum. Another keynote. Another stage. But this time, I didn't feel the weight of proving anything. Only purpose. Only calm. The photo from the gala stood beside my computer. Me in mid-speech, eyes bright, unafraid. "Your light," the silver plate read. Mother's name flashed on my phone again. I hesitated, then answered. Her voice was softer now, uncertain. "We're proud of you," she said quietly. The words landed like fragile glass, real but delicate. "Thank you," I replied, meaning it. After the call, I looked out at the skyline. The city pulsed with noise and movement and possibility. I wasn't running from their shadows anymore. I wasn't waiting to be seen. For the first time, the light didn't blind me. It felt warm, steady, earned. Not borrowed. Not shared. Mine. And as I closed the file for my next speech, I smiled. Some journeys end not in applause, but in peace.